Welcome to this MindView video tutorial, introducing you to MindView 7 Assistive Technology Edition. In this video tutorial, we're going to introduce you to some of the benefits and features that make MindView the most appropriate mind mapping software for both the assistive and academic context. And when this video tutorial is done, why not head over to our website at www.matchware.com. Here we have a page dedicated to the assistive technology portion of our software. We go to highlight some of the key features, as well as some of the ideal benefits of mind mapping. We've also outlined all of our accessibility enhancements, which makes MindView the most appropriate tool within the accessibility context. Functionalities such as Dragon Naturally Speaking integration, where you can create completely hands-free mind map using that native commands. You'll notice all of our videos are subtitled. You can use MindView with completely keyboard-only accessibility functionality, and we've made all of the text in the software available to screen readers. Particularly, we've improved our integration with JAWS and Zoom Text. To get to this position, we worked with an organization called the Digital Accessibility Center. They're a non-for-profit organization who work with a range of digital providers to ensure that the content is as accessible as it should be. Here you can see a range of their clients. We're super proud of the accreditation that we've received from them, as it goes to support the development of the Assistive Technology edition of our software. Also on our website, you'll find white paper reports outlining why mind mapping as a methodology is so helpful for learners with dyslexia and Asperger's. We've also got case study information from schools who have studied the impact of using MindView within their organization. Now, if you're brand new to MindView, the first thing you should notice about the software is that it looks and feels just like a Microsoft Office program. That's by complete design. We want our software to be as intuitive as possible and easy to use, especially within the assistive context, where there could be some fear or stress associated with having to learn new functionality. In MindView 7 Assistive Technology Edition, we've also created a simplified ribbon toolbar. We've consolidated all the main features used by students to support their learning and provided it in this consolidated, simplified interface. To start generating ideas on a map, it's very simple. Keyboard shortcuts such as the Insert key allow me to create branches at new levels, and the Enter key allows me to create branches at the same level. So Insert, 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 Enter, Enter, Enter. Often, however, students much prefer to just brain dump ideas onto the page without yet connecting all of those branches together and forming that mind map hierarchy. We're going to adopt that methodology now when we start to approach a new assignment. In this example, we're going to write an assignment on famous authors. And we're going to use MindView as our visual planning tool. So instead of creating the branch connections, I'm just going to double click into the space to get those ideas out of my head and just onto the page. So let's start thinking about some famous authors. Let's begin with Charles Dickens, James Joyce. So I'm just simply clicking into the space and creating new boxes. Ernest Hemingway, and finally one more, Jane Austen. There's no relationship yet between any of these ideas, just visually putting them onto the page. Now, we know in this assignment we have two discussion points that we need to cover. That's the history of each of these authors, which we'll call early years, and also a list of their famous works. It's at this stage that we might then want to start providing some order or some priority to this information. And this is one of the key benefits of having a mind mapping software. There's no requirement to rub things out, redraw it, or start from scratch. I can just very simply left click on a particular item and connect it onto another. So let's bring all of those famous authors onto that main title. So left click, drag and drop. And early years and famous works, they're discussion points onto each of the authors. So let's first of all drag this onto Ernest Hemingway, and you can see it creates the next level of detail down. And just like I would in Microsoft Office to reproduce this information, I can just simply copy paste it. So Control C, which is going to be familiar to Office users, and Control V, Control V. And very quickly, without too much stress, I've created all my ideas and now reproduce those discussion points onto each of those authors. Now, I'm pretty sure you're all very familiar with mind mapping as a methodology. You've got a central theme or a title, a route, and from that route, our information exploding outwards in a radial formation. Well, in MindView, it's also important to notice that there's a sequence to this information. And I'll display this best by adding a numbering scheme. And you'll notice then that Ernest Hemingway is placed at number 1 on the clock face, and we're reading it clockwise around the map, Charles Dickens, through to James Joyce, and finally Jane Austen. And it's also sub-numbered, these discussion points. This is a really important thing to recognize for a couple of reasons. One, it helps students to provide some order to their written document. So let's say, for example, in this essay, we wanted to write it with our authors in chronological order. Well, obviously, Ernest Hemingway is not going to be the first author. We're going to start with James. I'm going to drag and drop and move her into first place. And notice as I'm moving these authors around, the numbering sequence adapts automatically. The second important thing to understand is this numbering sequence acts like the backbone through the MindView software. As I move between different views in the software or out to different formats such as Word and PowerPoint, it's going to use this sequence to sequence the information in those other formats. MindView has lots of built-in designs, colors, and ways of customizing the map. Under the map view design, you'll find that there's a range of pre-made templates. Simply hover over them and find the colors and find the style that best suits your learning style. Alternatively, you can completely customize your map, helping with things like remembering the information that's associated with those different colors and designs. One example of that is the ability to change the background color. So I just hit the right-click button, and under page color I can choose from either a preset color, or I can type in the RGB number if I already know what that color is. Super helpful when learners find it difficult to work off a white background, especially when working with the glare of a computer screen. Now, as well as our visual plan, MindView offers the capacity to start embedding all of our bits of content, which in this assignment is going to be a combination of text and images. To start adding some text, I'm going to select on Jane Austen's early years and turn on the text note editor from the ribbon toolbar. Notice as I do that, the ribbon toolbar across the top, all the functionality changes to that of Microsoft Word. So again, it's very intuitive for learners to know how to use it, and plus there's no loss of functionality. After I've written my note and closing the text note editor, you'll see that there's a unique icon on the branch itself, which is a paperclip. And if I hover over it, you'll see then again the text note editor image showing me that there's a bit of text on this branch. I can open it up, review it, and also edit it. As well as text, I can bring images onto the map, and it's a proven fact that the more images you have on a mind map, the easier it is to recall the information from there. There's a few ways that we can add images onto the map. The first is by using our built-in picture catalog, allowing me just to keyword search for images within the catalog. We've got roughly about 2,000 royalty-free images, so if they do find their way onto a student's bit of work, there's no issues with copyright. So I've just keyword searched for Jane Austen, left click, drag and drop, and move onto the map. Let's do the same with Charles Dickens. And let's also do James Joyce. Now, alternatively, you might want to take your images from different locations, such as images that are saved on your computer. To do this, I just select where I'd like the image to go, select branch picture, and search on my computer for the particular image. And there we have Ernest Hemingway. What's really nice about the MindView software is any images that get put onto the branches we automatically resized. You don't have to worry about making sure that they're going to fit the page. Introduced into MindView 6 was a fantastic researching tool called the Capture tool. This is a great way of capturing images and text from external sources. So I'm going to use this example now to do a bit of research on James Joyce and his early years. The Capture tool is found underneath the Insert tab, over to the right-hand side. And when I select the capture tool, it will automatically minimize the MindView software, allowing me to start to research onto my computer. In this example, I'm going to get some information from an online source. Now, those of you who are familiar with using the snipping tool from Windows will be very familiar with what we're about to do here using the capture tool. The added advantage of MindView's capture tool is not only can you capture images, but you can also capture text. So let's begin by capturing some text. Drag and drop over the portion of information I'd like to pull across into my mind map and select capture. It gives me a brief preview of what it's going to look like in my mind map and also remembers the location of where this bit of data came from. Select save, and you'll see now there's a paperclip on James Joyce's early years, which I hover over it, you'll see is the information that we've pulled across from our online source. Notice also any hyperlinks have also been pulled across. This bit of grayed out text here has been added by the MindView software, and it's actually a citation. MindView has automatically added this source to a list of sources within the citations tool, date stamped it, which is critical when taking information from an online source, and referenced it automatically within the software. We're going to cover the citations tool in just a minute. The second bit of research that I'm going to do is capture an image for the early years branch. So just in the same way, head up to Insert, Capture, but in this example now I'm going to capture an image. Simply drag and drop over the image that I'd like on my mind map, see the preview, and save. Notice again how the image of James Joyce, no matter the size that it was on the source, has been automatically resized for the mind map. Fast forwarding now, here's the finished assignment. We started with a blank page, we brain dumped our ideas, and then used the drag and drop functionality to order the sequence of information. We broke down the essay into its various different components and started to add our various bits of content, which in this example was text for our essay and images to help us research and remember the information associated to it. We also used the capture tool as an efficient way of doing any type of research from external sources. Before we turn this into our good-looking word-style essay, let's take a quick look at the citations tool. The citations tool is found in the text note editor, right in the middle on the ribbon toolbar under citation. And to create a citation, it falls into a two-step process. The first is to manage our sources or build our reading list. And to do this, we partnered with a source catalog called WorldCat. They were selected as the most complete library of sources, roughly 2 billion sources. Not only can I source from between books, I can also review different films and journal articles. But what's great about this search feature is I can just type in the ISBN number of the book and start to populate those articles onto my reading list. In this example, I'm just going to keyword search for my book, Oliver Twist, review the different publications, and I can select this one here. And MindView does give you the option to add any other manual information onto the citation source, but I'm happy with that, so I'm just going to click OK, and you can see it's now added onto my reading list here. The second stage is to add a citation. So let's first of all put a quotation in here, so something from Oliver Twist. Please, sir, I want some more. That's also a quotation that I need to reference back to the source in my reading list. To do that, I select the citations image, select from my reading list, and add the page number. Notice again how that bit of grey text is showing that MindView has added this citation. It wasn't a bit of text added by the student. So with that citation now complete, I'm ready to turn this visual plan into a linear style essay format. And to do that, we're going to use MindView's integration with the Office suite. In the simplified toolbar in the Assistive Tech Edition of MindView, we've included a couple of the main exports that are used, including Word and PowerPoint. We're going to start by turning this visual plan into a Word document. Choosing the custom Word export allows me to choose from different templates that are built into the software. And you'll notice that at the very top, we have our academic styles. In this example, I'm going to choose the Harvard style. Selecting the General tab at the top, I can choose what information to pull across into my Word document. And it's important to point out that as a default in the AT edition of MindView, a map image will be included at the top of the document. A title page will be produced as well as a table of contents. A bibliography will be automatically added as well to the bottom of my document. By selecting export and saving this document now to my computer, MindView is going to work together with Microsoft Word to produce the linear style document. Here we first have our title page, Famous Authors by Liam Pettit, followed by the image of our mind map. The image of the mind map is actually a really great transition tool for students moving from the visual planning tool of MindView into the Word document, just to ensure that everything's in the right place. But notice how the sequence of information has been turned into the format of the Word document. Our main headers, in this example our main authors, have been turned into the main chapter headers, and the discussion points are being converted into the sub-chapter headers. It's also page numbered off our full document as well. This is an interactive table of contents which just allows me to select on a particular item and it will take me further down the document. Here we have Jane Austen, her early years, and any content that I've embedded onto the branches forms the body of the text. So our essay has been written and now turned into the paragraphs onto the Word document. Scrolling down a bit further, we have our famous works, Charles Dickens, his early years, and famous works, and there's the citation that we added using MindView. Scroll down further, James Joyce, famous works, Ernest Hemingway, and at the very bottom, our automatically written bibliography. This integration is a great way of removing any of the stress or anxiety that could be associated with having to reproduce this information from scratch. It's in the right academic style, and also the integration is two-directional, meaning I can add more content here, save my progress, import it into MindView, and it'll update the mind map in MindView. Often students have to create presentations on the same body of work. And this is where MindView is going to save students so much time. Because instead of having to start life as an essay in Word and then reproduce all that information again for a PowerPoint presentation, they start life as one master visual plan and then from there convert into Word, or now in this example, convert into PowerPoint. So just like I did with the Word document, I'm going to select the custom PowerPoint export, choosing from a template and selecting export. Saving the document, MindView is going to work with PowerPoint now to produce a set of presentation slides. Here MindView has used the sequence of information to first of all start with a slide introducing our four main authors, following round to Jane Austen, her early years famous works, and on to Charles Dickens, etc., etc. Producing a set of slides in next to no time. This is a great way of supporting students to produce a presentation without having to start from the very beginning. Feedback actually told us that students were using this functionality to create a set of revision slides, telling us that the slides were very similar to the cue cards. Once they'd exported their information into PowerPoint, they then saved the PowerPoint as a PDF, which meant they could then open it on multiple devices, tablet, mobile, and computer devices. A really smart way of preparing any type of revision material. Mind mapping obviously lends itself to doing any type of visual planning. And MindView functionality also allows you to apply time and task management to that visual plan. This allows us to create visually compelling timelines to help us manage our time more effectively. In this example, I've created a very simple mind map outlining my drama responsibilities, English responsibilities, and also my personal responsibilities such as job and parties that I need to attend. To convert this mind map into a timeline, it's a simple process of first changing my view to the timeline view. Here we have our list of tasks that were outlined in our mind map and a timeline in the middle. I can now start to define my start dates as well as an end date, which then produces both the item from my mind map onto the visual timeline and a nice visual timeline duration bar to show me when a task is taking place. This visual time bar is actually really useful for showing students when multiple tasks are starting to layer over one another and they have to manage more than one thing at a given time. To show this as an example, I'm going to apply a date to my English responsibility, showing that run over. Notice how the different colours also really lend itself to showing the difference between those two tasks and when they're taking place. In this example, I've added a few more dates to illustrate that more effectively. MindView then makes it super simple to print this out to put above your desk or wherever. Simply go to File and to Print, and the functionality of the tool makes it very easy to scale this image up across a number of pages. For example, I can go from portrait to landscape and then apply extra columns and show how that timeline is now being scaled out across each individual pages. To help you learn more about the functionality of MindView, both for assistive and academic purposes, we've produced a MindView template for assistive technology assessment and training. This template can be found under File, Templates, the Education Templates, and the folder titled Study Skills. This template breaks down into the individual components, the main functionality used by students to support their learning. The main branches show the functionality, and off each main branch we've produced a link to a video tutorial and to a MindView template. This is a really critical tool to support you when you start to learn about MindView and start presenting it to students and colleagues. You'll also find attached support documents such as the PC and Mac keyboard shortcuts, MindView guides, and access to white paper documentation. You'll also find lots of really useful MindView video tutorials through our MatchWare YouTube channel. If you'd like to attend any of our CPD accredited webinar training sessions, or would like us to visit your organisation to perform training for a group, then please do get in touch with us at london@matchware.com.